Well, you know, there are very few shark attacks in the British Isles, and this was not one of them. It was very pedestrian. I was just washing up, and a knife fell and severed a tendon in my pinky.
You're the second person.
State the obvious, which is that is so not rock and roll. This accident happened when I was washing up.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been rock and roll for quite some time now. You know, I'm a husband and a father, and I live in the suburbs. Yeah.
And while we're on the subject of your arms, your other arm
Yes, sir.
has a tattoo on it.
Many, yes.
Which is, well, I was drawing attention to the one which is your US Marines tattoo.
Yes, the one
which is a big part of your life story, isn't it?
It is, yeah. As a young man, I ended up in the Marine Corps after trying to overcompensate without having a father in the house. And I think that was one of the things that formed who I was early on, because I was quite young when I went in.
What age were you?
Oof, I'd have to say at that point, like 18.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was one of those times, especially when you're young, and to not give too much of the book away, it picks up me coming out of the Marines and coming to terms with the things that got me into that situation in the first place. Growing up without a father, I think a lot of people can identify with that to a certain extent, so I wanted to bring that into the book and not make an excuse for it, but understand why certain men overcompensate. They try to be the toughest guy in the room, and instead of joining the Coast Guard or the Navy, I joined the Marines. And I was trying to prove to myself and to my mother at that point that I wasn't weak like my father was. I think that's how I explain it in the book.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it because I was young and you're physically challenged, and the things that you do. And also, this is interesting to note, and I think a lot of my brother Marines out here, especially Royal Marines, who I know in this country, we're all a little bit special. You know, we all have maybe anger issues or aggression issues that can be positively challenged in that environment. It's not for everybody, don't get me wrong, I'm not a poster boy for recruitment, but in my case, I found 200,000 brothers and sisters.
But interestingly, and we won't give away stuff in the book, we'll give ideas of what it's about, but interestingly, considering the people you hung around with in New York, and we're talking drug dealers, we're talking mobsters, bad people.
Politicians. Yeah.
You don't use violence. You kind of seem to be someone who tempered situations. You knew you had it in you if you needed to have a rock and defend yourself. Yeah. But you seem to be more of the kind of peacemaker.
Well, I think men who are capable of violence that can control it, that's being peaceful. If you're someone who's not capable of any violence and you're peaceful, you're just weak. So I think in the city that I grew up in, you couldn't be the latter. You had to have something in you that could diffuse a situation and get you out of it. Because there's that old saying that they use all the time, silver or lead, right? And a lot of the times, silver is better for everybody.
So you mean money or
money
bullets?
or violence, yeah. Or talking or violence. It's you know, you see it a lot. What was a series, the cartel series Narcos? They say that a lot in Spanish, which is more lyrical.
Clearly, music for you was the Get Out.
Oh, yeah,
that would be the thing, right? It discovered you, and you just went for that.
And radio, bam, yeah.
Yeah, and it came good for you.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, because you know people love the music you made in those days, and you had some extraordinary times. You were touring with U2,
we did,
for example.
Yeah. That's how the book kind of, you know, brings us to who I became.
The arc of that point. Were there times? So I don't know. Are you waiting on stage? You're doing your warm-up act for U2.
Oh, yeah.
There must have been times when you're standing there and you're thinking, do you know what? I've come along. You know, it's been a journey. I've come a long way.
I do reflect in the book in a portaloo on stage at the U2 show before I go on, and it's a time. In the book, it's a time I do take a mental snapshot, and I say to myself, wow, you did make it to the point where you wanted to be at. And to be able to play music and to be able to do so, and I talk about... And
they had quite a reputation, and they said, do you want to have some whiskey?
You mean Lemmy Kilmister?
That's it. It was Lemmy. Yeah.
I don't name drop too much in this book, but meeting Lemmy Kilmister was a huge deal for me.
So just, you could tell this story. So you walk in and you're thinking, right, he's let me in. This is great. So I can't show that I'm a doofus.
I'm also with a man named Mike Schnapp, who is dear friends with Lemmy and one of Lemmy's friends, and this guy, Mike Schnapp, was the record company executive who signed my band. So they were kind of bringing me into this club to harass me a little bit, jostle me, kind of like welcome to the club stuff. And yeah, Lemmy has a reputation for being a hard drinker, hard partying guy, no nonsense. So yeah, he pulled 2 glasses out about this size and filled them both up with amber liquor. And in the scene,
some whiskey.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. I wasn't too sure. And as he was telling me about how rock and roll is, that and the other thing, I took it as a challenge to drink the entire glass. So I did the best I could. And everybody, Lemmy and Mike, laughed as
He just took a little
He
sip.
took a little sip and was like, "What are you trying to do, kid?" And it just, I think it encapsulated the idea of, like, well, obviously my overcompensation problem, but also what we expect of people and how they really are in real life. And he turned out to be one of the warmest, loveliest people I've ever met, with that reputation still intact.
It's funny, isn't it, that the extent, and you know this very well, how people are sometimes different from how they're perceived.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been talking about all these things in your life, some of which are quite out there. And then I know you're a dog lover. You love your...
Oh, Sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar, your dog...
I'd show you the tattoo, but it's covered.
And Sugar is, I mean, Sugar's still with us.
No, Sugar's passed.
Sugar's passed.
Yeah.
But
Been
Sugar
a long
was like a confidant for you.
Oh,
You
yeah,
used to have
yeah.
conversations
Yeah,
with
she was my consigliere, as we say. Yeah, well, early on, I described finding she and I coming together in the book, and it's quite romantic. And I talk about it
Well,
later.
she pees on your T-shirt.
Well, yeah, but but who doesn't, you know? And what I think was important is that as men in that type of situation, especially veterans, we find it very difficult to talk to other people. And I know that dog therapy has been a big thing for veterans in this country and in the United States, and it helps a lot. And this dog was, like you said, my confidant. I told her things that no other human being has ever heard, and she still hung around. So it was a really good friend to have. And it was a great way for me to introduce myself to actually speaking about my mental health problems, which is really key, because a lot of us, we have them, we know what they are, but they're still in our head. If you actually speak something out loud, it manifests itself, and then you can do something about it, like James Baldwin said, you know?
It is an extraordinary story. Hugh Morgan, The Fun-Loving Criminal is the name of the book.
It is.
And yeah, you have led a busy life.
I'm only halfway done, man.
Tales to tell.
Good for you. Good for you.
Be careful when you're next washing
I
up.
will.
Huey, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Headlines are coming up.